لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض ومن يتولهم منكم فإنه منهم إن الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. صدق الله العظيم. Surah Al-Ma'idah of the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a command. When He orders Islam, we must submit. O you who have faith in Allah, do not take the Jews and do not take the Christians as your friends and allies. And we pause to ask, is Allah speaking about all Jews? Is He speaking about all Christians? Should we seek to study a verse of the Quran by itself, in isolation, standalone? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us the methodology to study the Quran, and He taught us right down at the beginning of the Quran. And He sent it لِقَوْمِ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. The Quran was sent to a people who think. It wasn't sent to gramophone records. It wasn't sent to people who simply memorize kitab and kitab and kitab and then like a gramophone record. They teach. The Quran was sent to a people who think. Fikr is not just thinking. Fikr is to think things out. And so at the beginning of the Quran, Allah gave a command to the malaika, the angels, to make sajda before Adam alayhi salam. فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. So they all made sajda except Iblis. If we take this by itself, standalone, then of course we will make the mistake of coming to the conclusion that Iblis was an angel, because the order was given to the angel. But Allah is not deficient in the use of language. Why did He frame the statement like this? Answer: to teach a lesson of how to study the book. When we turn to the whole Quran, not just one verse in isolation, we find that the Quran says about the angels, وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. They must obey whatever they are ordered. They have no choice. But he disobeyed. And so it follows as plain and as clear as daylight. He could not have been an angel. And then as we go further in the Quran, but most people are too busy to turn to the Quran. That's why we are in the mess in which we are today. The shameful, miserable mess in which we are today. That's why. Because we don't have time for the Quran. When we go to Surah Al-Kahf, there we find it in black and white. وَكَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. It is for the jinn. So do not take the Jews and the Christians as your friends and allies. Is Allah speaking about all Jews and all Christians? When we go to the rest of the Quran, it quickly medium's clear. No, he could not have been speaking about all Jews and all Christians. For example, in the same Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَلَتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى. That in time to come you will find Christians to be those who will be closest to you in love and affection. So he could not be speaking about Christians. But before we proceed, who are those Christians? Interesting, isn't it? That in time to come you will find those who have the greatest love for you to be Christians. Which Christians? Methodology? Go to the Quran. Let the Quran answer the question. Does the Quran speak about any Christians in a positive way? Yes, it does. There is a whole surah of the Quran, a whole surah entitled Surah Al-Rum, for a people who would think and reflect. And what does Allah speak about in Surah Al-Rum? Alif Lam Mim. غُلِبَتِ الرُّومُ. Rome was defeated. في أدنى الأرض, in a land close by. So it couldn't be Washington and London and the NATO alliance, which is the military arm of the Zionist movement. No. You've got to have peanuts in your head. You've got to have peanuts in your head to give this garbage that they are Rome. Rome has been defeated in a land close by. There was no Washington at that time when the Quran was revealed. There was no NATO. Where has reason fled? Rome has been defeated in a land close by. وَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ غَلَبِهِمْ سَيَغْلِبُونَ. But Allah is giving the news that after their defeat, they are going to be victorious. In just a few years' time. This is a divine prophecy. It's going to come to pass. لِلَّهِ الْأَمْرُ. Command is with Allah. Decision making is with Allah, not with the Security Council of the United Nations. No. Min qabl wa min ba'd. The previous time, he decided. The next time, he will decide. Which is the next time? Let's read that. وَيَوْمَئِذٍ يَفْرَحُ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. On that day, when Rome is victorious, the Muslims are going to celebrate. So we already have a loving relationship with them. We have a positive relationship with them. We have a joyous relationship with them. We have an alliance with them. That when they are victorious, we celebrate. Oh, our Rome. بِنَصْرِ اللَّهِ يَنْصُرُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah helps whomsoever Allah chooses to help. وَاللَّهُ عَزِيزٌ رَحِيمٌ. And Allah is all-powerful. And Allah is merciful. Rome are those Christians who don't celebrate Christmas on 25th of December. Rome were those Christians who had their capital in Constantinople. Orthodox Christians. Those are Rome. Where is Rome today? After the Sultan Muhammad Fatih conquered Constantinople in 1452. And the first thing that the Sultan did was to drive a dagger deep down into the heart of Rome that would bleed for 500 years. It's still bleeding now. This Khatib was in Moscow a couple months ago, and the wound was still bleeding up to now. Thanks to that Sultan. Disgracefully, shamefully, and manifestly sinfully, he took the greatest cathedral of Rome, which had been a cathedral for 1,000 years, and to the eternal shame of this ummah, He took the cathedral and transformed it into a masjid. Shame on you, Sultan. Shame on you. But the Prophet ﷺ said about Akhirul Zaman that we will conquer Constantinople. Yes, it's there. That is in Akhirul Zaman, not the 40-50. So when we conquer Constantinople, we said the first thing we do, I told them that in Moscow, is we will return your cathedral to you. The second thing we'll do is we'll apologize for what was done. And the third thing we'll do is the name of the city. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam referred to it as Constantinople. So Mustafa Kamal, get lost. You cannot change the name that Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. It is still Constantinople. So now we know it could not be all Jews and all Christians. So which Jews and which Christians? Do not take them as your friends and allies. Once you understand that, you'll be able to recognize this bogus young Jihad. They did it in Libya, the fools. In consequence of which Libya today is a NATO country. To the peril of Egypt. They don't even know that Israel's agenda is to attack Egypt. They don't even know that. That Israel's agenda is to take the eastern delta of Egypt. Because the Torah says, they rewrote it, that the Holy Land extends from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates. They don't even know that. Seeking NATO to bomb Gaddafi from the air, that's the only way they can take over. The fools in Libya. This is strong language. But this scholar is not afraid to use this language. Because this is the truth. And the same thing that they did in Libya, they're now doing it in Syria, except that this one is more dangerous. Who are these people that Allah commands us in the Quran? Don't take them as your friends and allies. Is it important for us as Muslims to find out what the Quran is saying? The answer is right there in the words which follow. بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. That's the answer. The question was which Jews and which Christians? The answer is بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Do not take such Jews and do not take such Christians as your friends and allies who themselves are friends and allies of each other. بَعْدُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. Do we have in the world today a Jewish-Christian alliance? Everybody knows that, except those who are chewing pan and eating biryani and going to sleep. You go to the masjid and you go back home. You go to the masjid and you go back home. You go to the masjid and you go back home. And you abandon the sunnah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. The sunnah was to be conscious of your strategic environment and to respond to that strategic environment, like for example the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. But for them, go to the masjid, go back home, go to the masjid, go back home. And you have to have a pair of boxing gloves. The Deobandi, the Barelvi, the Hadith, the Wahhabi, the this and that and the other, and they're relishing the boxing matches. When Allah commanded in the Quran, وَلَا تُفَرَّقُوا, do not be disunited. But no, that's what they have, boxing matches. Not for us. We have a different conception of Islam. Because we were students of Maulana Fadlur Rahman Ansari, rahimahullah. Today that alliance is coming to be. It is the Zionist Jews and the Zionist Christians who have reconciled and established a Judeo-Christian alliance. And they have NATO as their military arm. They are the ones who liberated the Holy Land for the Jews. They are the ones who brought the Jews back to the Holy Land to reclaim it as their own 2,000 years after Allah had expelled them. All of this is in my book, Jerusalem in the Quran, which is in the back, which was written 12 years ago. But the word of Islamic scholarship pretends as though Jerusalem in the Quran was never written. They will not reject it, but they will not move a single inch to accept. I don't know why they choose to remain in this mysterious silence. That Judeo-Christian alliance brought Israel into being. And that Judeo-Christian alliance wants Israel to rule the world. And so you have to have political dominion over mankind. That's why you have the United Nations organization. You have to have economic dominion over mankind. That's why you have the World Trade Organization. You have to have financial dominion over mankind. That's why you have the International Monetary Fund. Why is this not being taught in the Darul Uloom? Why are our scholars coming out of the Darul Uloom so ignorant about the world today and incapable of using the Quran to respond to it? Don't take them as your friends and allies. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. If you enter into their embrace, joining their United Nations organization that they crafted to trap you, joining their World Bank and joining their IMF and using their bogus and fraudulent and utterly haram paper money. And Imraan Hussein has studied international monetary finance. Remember that. Then you belong to him. That's what Allah said. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُمْ. Whosoever from amongst you turn to them with friendship and alliance, and taking weapons, high-tech weapons, from Saudi Arabia, funded from NATO to Saudi Arabia, and taking high-tech weapons from Qatar, and from Turkey, which is comfortably a member of NATO. Taking weapons from them to go and fight your jihad. Looks like a Yankee jihad to me. No, we're fighting authentic jihad. We don't take weapons from them. Where's the money coming from? Where are all the US dollars coming from? What about the email I got from Tunisia? A woman wrote to me from Tunisia. Sheikh, my younger brother, they offered him $1 million to go and fight in Syria. He took the money, and when he was on his way, the police called him. They brought him home to my father. And my father has him locked in a room. He wants to go to big jihad. Oh yes, this is now what we call the US dollar jihad. $1 million. So now you buy people to make jihad? That's how you wage your jihad? We didn't wage jihad this way in the past. That the enemy of Islam supports us to wage a jihad. What nonsense. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-zalimin. Allah will not provide guidance for our people who commit atrocities. They're wicked. Why are they targeting Syria? Number one, because they do not want any regime in the Arab world which is resisting the violence. They want regimes like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Jordan, which are client states. And Libya was resisting, so they got rid of Libya. So now Libya is a NATO state. And Syria was resisting the alliance, the Zionists. And so now they're targeting Syria. Oh no, Assad is raping, and Assad is dishing, and Assad is butchering. It's like a gramophone record. We heard it already in Libya. We're hearing it now. And we'll be hearing it tomorrow in some other place, like some gramophone record. Everything is scripted. The second reason why they chose Syria is because their target is Russia. That's their target. And Syria has an alliance with Russia. And they don't like that. So they want to destroy, break that alliance with Russia. The reason why they're targeting Syria is because Russia has a naval base in Syria. The only naval base that Russia has outside of Russia. And if they could take that naval base away from Russia, and it becomes a NATO naval base, it will be a great embarrassment for Russia. The reason why they are targeting Syria is because they want to remove the secular government with a rabid Islamic government. So they could say to the world, Islam is rising. Islam is becoming a menace to the world. We've got to do something to save mankind. They were doing it in Egypt until the Egyptian leaders said, no, we can't allow you to have the cake all the time. We had the cake for so many years and we enjoyed eating that cake. So we're going to take it back. So we will eat the cake now, not you, be quiet. So they lost out on Egypt. But they probably have another plan up their sleeve. When they have so-called Islamic regimes ringing them, they can then wage the big wars that are already planned. And they can claim before mankind, we're only defending ourselves and we're saving the world from the menace of Islam. This is what they're planning. But the evil plans are something else. Those who are on the ground fighting, they don't know about it. And when the time comes, they would not be the ones to do the killing. No, Israel will have a commando unit. And that commando unit will go and do what it did in Safran Shatila. Syria has a large Christian community. An old Christian community, which has the same Christianity as Russia. Most of them are Orthodox. So when the regime in Syria is toppled, you find there'll be a slaughter of Christians. And that will break permanently any possibility of an alliance between Muslims and Rooms. Who said that there'll be an alliance between Muslims and Rooms? Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu. He said that in Akhir al-Zaman you will make an alliance with Rome. And that's what they don't want. They do not want us to have an alliance with Rome. Russia today is Rome. Russia is the commanding power in Rome. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan will topple their plan. So that at the end of the day, the truth will be triumphant over all the falsehood that they have, that a man would marry another man and get a marriage certificate. We pray for that day which will come when justice will triumph over justice, injustice and oppression. And we pray for that day when Allah will send scholars who will not betray the Quran, who will learn how to go to the Quran. So the Quran could teach and explain the world today, as this verse of Surah Al-Ma'idah has just done. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم برحمتك